everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Montefusco and I'm a lover of all things when it comes to makeup and fragrance and beauty. And today is an exciting day because one of my favorite eyeshadow palette color stories ever, which is the Beaute Oceanic palette, has been reformulated. Beaute has actually reformulated all of their eyeshadows. I've always loved this like blue-green ocean life color story, but I've always hated the formula. So when I heard that they reformulated and I heard some good things from YouTubers that I watched, I decided that it would be fun, that the first time I ever try the new and improved palette would be to do a head-to-head comparison. So I'm going to do the same look on both eyes, one with the old palette, one with the new palette, and we're going to see if these shadows are actually better. So I'm using the same brushes and everything. I'm going to take you all through the step-by-step process. So if you are excited to hear about that and you want to hear my thoughts on the new formula, then please keep on watching. So I know this isn't an original idea. I know some YouTubers have already done this with reformulated palettes, especially like Beaute's, but I want to do it for myself. So just like overall packaging wise, the two palettes are very similar, but if you notice, the new palette is thicker than the old palette. So I have the old palette here and the new palette there. So this new palette's a little bit thicker, but like inside the palette, the color story looks the same as the old palette. It's a different formula. So I'm excited to try these out, but before I do, I'm of course going to prime my eyes, so I will do that off camera and then we'll get into the exciting stuff. All right, so eyes are primed, and first I want to go into the shade called Algae, which is this neon green, and I want to put that in the very inner part of my crease. So I think I'm going to take this B2 brush from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. And I'm gonna make my left eye the old formula and my right eye the new formula. So this is the old formula. Just going to take this neon green. I'm trying to pack and blend it in at the same time because I want the shade to be bright, but I don't want it to be like unblended on the edges. So I'm just gonna tap. All right, so that's the old Algae. Now let's go into the new Algae. Oh yeah, definitely feels different in the pan. Definitely powderier. Definitely a different formula. This seems more pigmented off the base. I'm not having to do as much packing. All I'm having to do is place and blend just a little bit. Huh. I already noticed a difference. Interesting. And it seems like the colors are a tiny tad different. If you look at the new Algae, maybe it's just the way they're packing, but I feel like the new Algae is a bit darker and the old Algae is a bit lighter. I also feel like the old Algae is patchy while the new one is not. Interesting. So now I want to take my B3 brush and from Blend Bunny also, I'm going to go into the shade Fiji, which is above Algae. It's like this teal turquoise kind of shade, and I'm going to put that towards the end of my eye. So we're trying to blend basically the green into the blue. Okay, so that's the old Fiji. Now let's go into the new Fiji on my right eye. Again, it feels like a much different formula in the pan. Oh yeah, look at how bright that looks. It's so easy to tell when these looks are next to each other, but I feel like the old palette is muddier, while this palette, like the colors are a lot more vibrant, and they stay vibrant, which is nice. Like they're not muddy when they blend out. Oh yeah, I'm definitely liking this better. So there's the new formula eye, there's the old formula eye. What do you think so far? Are you seeing a difference? Yeah, this is definitely patchier and muddier. This is not as muddy at all. I like it. Next, I want to take the B4 brush from Blend Bunny. I want to go into Bali, which is this very light blue, and I want to blend the very outer part of this crease. All right, going into the new Bali, again, with the same brush. Oh yeah, oh my god, I love this so much more. Like, I knew everybody was saying like the new formula is a lot better, but I wasn't expecting to notice such a drastic difference already. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, I'm gonna take the B3 again, and now I'm gonna go into my outer corner. So I think I wanna start off with the shade called Blue Clam, which is this dark blue on the top row. So I'm just going to take that, this is the old palette, and I'm going to place that onto my outer corner in like tapping motions, and I want to blend it out just a little bit. It's like tap and slight drag motions. All right, now doing the same thing with the new Blue Clam on my right eye. It looks a bit lighter in color, maybe? Huh. Yeah, I feel like it's lighter than the old one. Okay. Now I want to take the B5 brush, and I'm just going to blend both eyes. This has no shadow on it. So I want to see how these mattes blend with a clean brush. The old formula versus the new formula. Yeah, I feel like the new formula, it takes more work to get it blended, but once you do, it looks better than the old formula. The old formula, you don't have to work hard to get the shadow to blend a little bit, but it kind of just doesn't go and blend where you want it to, where I feel like the new formula does. So yeah, I think I'm definitely liking the new formula better. So now I'm going to go into the darkest blue in the palette, which is called Lagoon. This is the old formula. Again, I'm going to take that same brush, the B3, that I've wiped off, and I'm going to apply that to the very, very outer part of the eye. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the new formula. Oh, wow. That looks a lot. That's just easier to place. Easier to get the intensity where you want it to go. All that good stuff. And again, gonna blend it out just a tad. Not too much. Okay, so that is it for the mattes on the upper part of my eye. Now I'm going to go into some glitter glue, and I feel like the metallics are where the real test is going to be, because I did not like the old Ace Beaute metallic formula. I found it to be very dry, flaky, just not intense metallic, beautiful enough. They just felt very lackluster. So I'm gonna apply some glitter glue, and then we're gonna do a comparison to those metallics that I'm gonna put on my eyes. All right, so starting with the old metallics, I am going to go into the shade Marina, and then the shade, I think, Mykonos. So I'm going to do both of those shades onto my eye. My goodness, I hate these metallics. They're so dry and not nearly as sparkly and shiny as I would want them to be. To be honest, the only reason why this palette survived my last declutter is because I love the color story so much. If I didn't, this wouldn't have survived. All right, going into the same shades into the new palette. Oh wow, that already feels so much better. This Marina looks a little bit lighter, but these metallics are softer. These metallics look wetter on the eyes. They are not so horribly dry. This is a much, much better formula. This is in alignment with what I enjoy. Oh yeah. Like, look at the shine on my right eye compared to my left eye. Pfft. This doesn't even compare. Doesn't even compare. I love the new metallics so much more than the old ones. Oh my goodness. So now that this part of my eyes are done, I'm going to do the rest of my makeup off camera, And the next time you will see me, my full face will be done. I'll give you all an overview of what I think of the new formula versus the old formula. I think I'll also do some swatches just to compare the new formula versus the old formula, and then we will close out the video. All right, so here is the completed look. As I mentioned before, my right eye has the new formula while my left eye has the old formula. So I'm sure you can tell from my thoughts during the demo, I definitely prefer the new formula over the old formula. So what are my main reasons for preferring the new formula? A, I feel like the shadows blend out easier. The mattes, I feel like the mattes also are less patchy. And I just think they're a lot easier to work with. B, I noticed that there was less fallout, which was kind of odd because I feel like the old formula is a lot harder pressed, those mattes, while the new formula is a bit more softly pressed. So there's more fallout in the pan in the new formula, but on my eyes, I noticed a lot more blue and green on my left eye, which had the old formula versus my right eye. So take that as you will. Also, I just really prefer the metallics in the new formula. The metallics in the old palette, the old formula, were god-awful. I mean, I'm just gonna be frank with you here. They were so dry, not really shiny, not that metallic, just really hard to work with. I really didn't like them. While the new metallics are a lot softer to the touch, they're just more pleasant to work with. They're just really what I enjoy, and they're up to the standards of what metallics are nowadays. So overall, those are my thoughts. Let me know which eye you prefer, if you prefer my left eye or my right eye. Personally, I prefer how my right eye looks, just because the mattes look so much better and less muddy, and the metallics are just so much more beautiful. So anyways, I promised swatches. I am now going to give you all swatches of the old palette versus the new palette. So like I always do, I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner and work my way down the rows. So first we're going to go into Bora Bora. So this finger is the new formula, this finger is the old one. So top is the new formula, bottom is the old formula. Next up, I'm going to go into Jellyfish. Oh yeah, this feels so much more pleasant. So that's the new formula, that's the old formula. Oh yeah, that new formula just glides on. That old formula, not pleasant. Again, very true to color here so far. Next up, I'm going to go into Mykonos, which I used today. So that's new Mykonos versus old Mykonos. So new is on the top, old is on the bottom. Again, very close in color. Let's get into some mattes. We have blue Clam. This is the new blue Clam. This is the old one. I feel like the old one is a bit darker, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah, the old one looks a little bit darker than the new one. Not sure why, but I definitely like the new formula over the old one. All right, next up we have Pacific, which is a very dark, like turquoisey green kind of color. So new formula versus old formula. The old formula is swatching darker for the mattes than the new formula. Very interesting. Next up we have Bali, which is that beautiful light blue. Swatchy. There we go. Those look pretty much the same in tone to me. All right, next up we have Fiji. So new Fiji versus old Fiji. Yeah, old Fiji's on the bottom, new Fiji's on the top. The old ones look darker. I'm not sure why. So that's this hand. Now I'm going to move on to my other hand. So we have Turtle. New Turtle versus old Turtle. Yeah, new Turtle's on the top, old Turtle's on the bottom. For some reason, the old ones are looking darker. This one I'm super excited about. New Marina versus old Marina. Oh my gosh, look at the difference. This is the new one, this is the old one. The new one is so much prettier than the old one. So the new one's on top, the old one's on the bottom. Which is another really beautiful metallic. So new Bay versus old Bay. Old Bay. Again, it's just so much more metallic. That top shade, beautiful. I also feel like both Marina and Bay, those two metallics, are actually lighter than the old ones too. So that's a little bit interesting. New anemone versus old anemone. Oh, wow, that new one's so pretty. So the new one versus the old one. I feel like they're about the same color, but the new one is just so much prettier. So much better, wetter, more shiny, all that good stuff. All right, next up we have Algae, which is like this beautiful neon green, so new Algae versus old Algae. The new one looks a little bit darker and a little bit less yellow based than the old one, but they're very, very close. They probably look the same on the eyes. Like, I feel like they look the same on my eyes pretty much. So there's a little bit of a difference there though. All right, new seaweed versus old seaweed, new seaweed, old seaweed. Oh yeah, old one's definitely darker again. Don't know why. So new seagrass versus old seagrass. So new seagrass, old seagrass. Again, I feel like the new one is a tiny tad bit lighter. And lastly, new lagoon versus old lagoon. So new lagoon, old lagoon. And again, the old one looks darker. I don't know why. All right, so these are both of the palettes swatched on my hand with the new version on the top and the old version on the bottom. So overall, I think the new version swatches a little bit lighter for most of the mattes and some of the shimmers, and the new palette swatches way better for the metallics versus the old palette. So this is what the palettes look like. So that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I am pretty darn sure I'm going to be decluttering the old version of this palette because A, I believe I've had it for like 2 or 3 years, so it's getting pretty old in my collection, and B, now that I have this much better version of the Oceanic palette, which has always been a color story I've adored, I'm definitely going to use it a lot more than the old version. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please like this video. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and it also helps me know what kinds of videos you like to see on my channel. If you like me, please subscribe. I'd love to have you all here. I post 2 to 3 videos per week about fashion, makeup, beauty, fragrance, all that fun stuff. And if you have anything to comment down below, if you've tried Ace Beaute's, both of their old and new formulas, and you have an opinion, if you've only tried their old formula or the new formula, or if you just want to chat, let me know. I would love to chat with you all. And yeah, I would definitely purchase more Ace Beaute palettes with this new formula because I really do enjoy it. And I've always loved their color stories. It's just their formula has been holding me back. So I'm very, very happy with how this video went. I hope you are too, and I will see you all next time. Bye.